Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to try to give you everything that you need to know to complete Activity 5.1. I'm assuming that you've already read the chapter and done the reading questions, and if you want a review of the information that's in the chapter reading, you should look at the video that I created for that purpose. This video is really just intended to show you how to use JASP and interpret the output. In this scenario, you are trying to estimate you're trying to determine or answer the research question if students are overly optimistic about time requirements in terms of completing assignments and whatnot. So you're going to be specifically asking, do they exhibit something known as the planning fallacy? Do they underestimate the time that it takes to do tasks? Now, the way this data set is going to be set up requires that you understand how the data was computed. So what you actually did is you asked people to predict how long it's going to take them to do something, and then you actually measured how long it actually took them to do it. And you're computing a difference score, a difference between what they predicted and what the actual time was. And you're computing that difference as predicted minus actual. So if somebody predicted that it would take 12 minutes to do something and it took 10 minutes, they obviously missed by 2 minutes, but their estimation was an overestimation, and this formula would give you a positive number. So 12 minus 10, prediction of 12 minus actual of 10 would give you a positive number, and a positive number in this formula means an overestimation. On the other side, if somebody predicted 8 minutes and it took 10 minutes, they're off by 2 again, but this would be a -2 in this formula. And so a negative number indicates an underestimation. It's important that you know that. Now I'm going to pull up JASP and show you what you need to do. I'm assuming that you've already got the numbers entered, or excuse me, you got the data pulled into JASP. And you want to run a single sample T here, of course. So single sample T, or one sample T right here. Here is your data. There's only one column of data, so there's only one thing listed here. So you're going to pop that over here. Notice what that gives me. It gives me the T, the degrees of freedom, and the p-value. Now that's not enough information. We want more. So you can click on location parameter, and that's going to give you the mean difference. What was the difference between the mean estimated time and the actual time? And again, it's predicted minus actual, so it's a negative number. So a negative number means it looks like they underestimated by about 4 minutes. Now I want more. I want a confidence interval around that mean difference. So if I can click on this, it'll give me that confidence interval. I also want an effect size D. That's off the screen over here, but if I do that, you can see that D. And then I want a confidence interval around D. There it is. And I want descriptive statistics. So that's going to tell me the overall N, how many people were in the study. The mean difference, again, predicted minus actual. The standard deviation of that mean difference. And then the standard error, or a measurement of expected sampling error. The activity is also going to ask you to do descriptive plots down here. This will tell you that the mean is here, so this is the -4.05, and then this is 0, our comparison number. Now this is a good time to tell you that in this activity, you're comparing the sample mean to 0. That's our comparison number. That's our test value, because we want to know how accurate they are. And if they were accurate, their prediction and their actual would be very close to each other. And ideally, the perfect prediction would be 0. So we're going to compare the mean prediction, the mean time differential, to 0. Now, in other assignments, you're going to have to remember to change this test value to some other value. If I'm doing some other test and the mean that I want to compare things to is 10, then I'm going to have to change this test value to 10. But in this assignment, the test value is 0, so you don't have to change anything. So if you click on these things, you should get all of the output that you need. I won't go into how to interpret these because I've done that in other areas. But again, here's your t value, your d or your df, your p, the mean difference. In this case, because the test value is 0, the mean difference here and the mean difference here will be the same. This is the confidence interval around the mean difference. This is our effect size estimate, and this is the confidence interval around that effect size estimate of d. This is sampling error. If you take the standard deviation and divide that by the square root of n, you will get this. And then here is your plot. I think that'll give you everything you need to compute this data set and do all the data that you need to complete this activity. Again, if you need help interpreting these values, I'd encourage you to go back to the previous chapter video, or send me an email, of course. Good luck with the activity.